Hey guys, Faisal here. Welcome back to another episode of making a Clash of Clans WhatsApp bot. So in the previous episode, we made the basic skeleton structure of a WhatsApp bot. We were able to send a message, get a message back, and now what we're going to do is connect Clash of Clans to it and get our folder structure set up. So let's go to Google. As you can see, I've got WhatsApp already open. Open a new tab and type Clash of Clans Developer API. Go to the first link, developer.clashofclans.com. Create an account if you don't have one. Log in. Once you log in, you'll see getting started and documentation. Documentation will tell you how to use the API. On the top right, where you see your name, type my account. And I've got some keys. Click create a new key and fill in the details. So here you'll put the name of the key. You can just add a description because I think it's required, and then IP address. Now IP address is important because that that will restrict the IP address from using only that key, right? So just in case your key gets stolen, someone else can't use it unless they have the same IP address as you. You can add multiple IP addresses just in case. It looks like you can add up to five. Um, I've got keys set up, so we'll use that one. Once you've got that key done, you'll create a key and it'll generate it, and then you just want to copy that key. Now, let's go ahead and load up the code. Once you've got that key, let's set up our folder structure. Now, we want to keep our folder structure neat and tidy so it's easy to understand what we're doing. So, first things first, let's go ahead and create a folder and we're going to call that utility. Now, we're going to have utility functions in that folder. Oops, I created it in the wrong place. Let me just delete that. You want to create in the top level here. So click index.js and then click plus new folder, utility, and inside of the utility folder, it's a new file, and we call that index.js as well. Reason I'm calling it index.js is so we can just import directly from utility and it'll give us all the functions inside of index.js. Close that for now. Another file we want to make, and that is called a .env file. Now, .env file is going to host our, or not host, but hold our Clash of Clans token. So click index.js and click new file and call it .env. Right. Now, once you're in the .env file, go ahead and create a variable. You can call this anything, but I will call it COC API token. And you do equals, and you want to paste in your JSON web token that Clash of Clans API has provided. Yep, so copy all of that, paste it in like that, just like that. And then Control S to save. We'll go to File and hit Save. And then you can close the .env file. Back in your JSON, so we want to now load this .env file. And we do that through one of our packages, which is called require. And we'll do .env.config. And now that will load our env file in, which means we can now call that method, that variable we just made. So let's initialize a few things. Let's import our Clash API. Do const Clash API equals to require Clash of Clans API. And underneath that, let's do let Clash, right? So this Clash object is what's going to hold our API, Clash Clans API, once you've initialized it. And we're going to want to initialize it in the ready function, right? So because we only want to initialize it if the bot is actually ready. So let's go ahead and type Clash equals to Clash API and provide a config. And now we'll provide a token, and the token will be process.env.coc underscore API underscore token. Remember, in our env file, we call it COC API token. That's what we're going to pull here. So it's going to load up this Clash of Clans API, and it's going to use our token to authenticate, and then we can start making requests to it. So what kind of request should we make? So we can keep the WhatsApp send message there. We may want to type await there just so We're using the async await feature. Now, just to see if it's working, let's do this. Let's go ahead and type const player response equals to await clash dot player by tag. Right, so this is a functionality that the Clash of Clans API has. This particular package has, and it gets the player by their tag. And for now, let's just do hashtag. Let me pull up a tag real quick. So LGPJCU8G. Right, we'll use that as a test, and we'll do console.log player response. So let's save that. Now, assuming it's done correctly, if I were to send a message to the WhatsApp bot, it should print that the player response block variable. So let's wait a few seconds for it to load back up again. Okay, now that it's ready, let's just see this together. So what we'll do is let's just do type test. So it's responded back to that. That's a good sign. Let's look back at our VS Code, and as you can see, we've got data. Now it's brought in a lot of stuff. It's brought in the players' heroes, their skills and achievements, and their soldiers, and also their stats, right? Like the name, the town hall level, the weapon level, that kind of stuff. So that's just an example of setting up the Clash Clans API. Now that we've set that up, let's go ahead and finish up with our helper functions that's going to help us out. So if we go to utility and index.js for utility, let's start creating our functions we need here for later on. So the first one is we're going to type exports.get command parameters, right? So this function is needed. Well, it's not needed, but this function, what it does is it's going to identify our prefix, and it's also going to get the query that was provided, get the command that was entered, so like player or town hall or war or clan, and then it's going to get the parameters that was provided in there. So type const prefix is equal to body 0 dot to uppercase. And then we do const query equal to body dot substring 1 dot split by space. And then const command equal to query 0 dot to uppercase, and our const parameters is equal to query dot slice 1. And then we're just going to want to return all of that. So return prefix query command parameters. Reason being is this will give us what our prefix is, and that could be something like asterisk or exclamation mark or right arrow, and then our, so let's say prefix equals something like that with exclamation mark. Now our query is essentially everything except the prefix. So if we typed hello world, our query is going to hold an array like this. It says hello world like that. And then our command is the first item in the query. So in that case is equal to hello if we take an array like that. And our parameters is everything else that isn't the first item. So that could be world, and if there's another item, right? So this will be world like that. Yep. And then one more method we want is exports dot is empty equals to value, and then let's do value equals to undefined or or value equal to null, or the type of value is object, and object dot keys value dot length is equal to 0, and the type of value is equal to string, and value is type of, and value dot trim dot length equal to 0. So what we're basically checking here is if the value that's been provided here is empty or not, essentially. So we're checking if it's undefined, or if it's null, or if it's an empty object, so like an array, an empty array, or if it's an empty blank string. Right, so those two will help us out massively. Now that we've got that in, let's create another file, not inside of utility. Click index.js or package.json and click new file, and we're going to call this config.js. Now config.js will hold our global values for the app, to which we can easily change. So let's do module.exports equal to, and we're going to provide prefix, and the first value we're going to do is an asterisk, and we'll just do .2 uppercase here. This is just in case for some reason we want hello, or not hello, just H or specific term as our prefix. But for now we're going to use asterisk. Let's save that as well. Sure, it's all saved. Okay, wicked. So we've got pretty much everything set up to be able to do our actual commands in the next one. Right, so one thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and start building our commands folder. So click index.js, click the new folder, and call this commands. Provide a new file in there and call that index.js. Now inside of here, let's go ahead and let's actually generate our structure, command structure. So let's see, how long have we been going on for? 12 minutes. Right, so in the next episode, let's go ahead and generate our command structure and maybe even start developing the player command as well. So I'll see you guys in the next video.